Shalom. What time is it? Okay, so we're going to sit back here, okay?
Do something. Sorry. I need to just stick some stuff here.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. Welcome to Temple Beth Shalom. All of you who are here in the sanctuary, welcome to Temple Beth Shalom. Those of you who might be in the sanctuary in your home on live stream, we're glad that you're here to celebrate Shabbat with us, and especially glad that you're here to celebrate this moment of Josephine becoming a bat mitzvah. Her Hebrew name is Miriam Gabriela. So if you hear me call her Miriam Gabriela, you'll know why that is. We are a praying congregation. I invite you to join us in all the prayers. I'm Robert Davis. I'm one of the rabbis here. This is Cantor Nicholson, who is helping us this afternoon, has been very important in tutoring as well. And Alan Caves is helping us with music, and we're pleased that all of you are here today. In addition to leading us in the reading of the Torah and Haftarah, Miriam Gabriela will be also leading us in prayers today. And so I welcome you to Temple Beth Shalom, and we're going to continue with a nigun, a prayer without any words. Miriam Gabriela, in just a few moments, your parents are going to present this beautiful talit to you, and it really is beautiful. I love the pattern of the thread up here. It's really, really magnificent. But what makes the talit special, is not this beautiful fabric, but rather these fringes right here, these strings called tzitzit. These remind us of the mitzvot. These remind us of the commandments, which, as I've told you, code for being responsible for your life and for the world. And so your parents are going to come up in a moment and wrap this talit around you. And it's easy to remember to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on. It's easy to do the right thing when you have the talit on. But the real challenge is to remember to do the right thing in your life, even when you're not wearing the talit. So I invite your parents to come on up here now and to present your talit to you. I'll ask you to say the blessing for putting the talit on.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahita tiv batzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Now I'll ask you to wrap the talit around her shoulders, however you want to do it. Right? Then turn the talit around. Hold on. That's okay. There we go. Perfect. Get it straight. And I'll ask you to stand together and recite these beautiful words of the Shekianu with the cantor, reminding us of how blessed we are to be here at this moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
I'll ask you to open up your prayer books and turn to page 220 as Miriam Gabriela is going to lead us in the Ashrei.
We chant the Ashrei responsively. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, Od Yehalelu HaSelah.
Ashrei ha'am shekach lo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav.
Tehillah leDavid, Aromimcha Elohai Chamele, Va'arvarcha Shimcha leolam va'ed.
Lecho yom avarcheka, va'ahalela shimcha leolam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai umchulal me'od, ve'ligdulato ein heker.
Dor ledor yishabach ma'asecha, ugvurotecha yagidu.
Hadar kevod hodecha, ve'divrei nifleotecha asincha.
Ve'ezuz norhotecha yomeru, ugdulatecha asaperena.
Zeherav tuvecha yameu, ve'tzik katecha yirabenu.
Chanun v'rachum Adonai, erech apayim ugadol chesed.
Tov Adonai lekol, ve'rahamav al kol ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol mahasecha, v'chasidecha yevarchucha.
Kevod malchuteha yameru, yuvurateha yedaberu.
Lehodia livnei ha'adam gevurotav, uchvod hadar malchuto.
Malchuteha malchut kol olamim, umemshalteha bechol dor vador.
Somech Adonai lechol hanoflim, v'zokef lechol hakefufim.
Eine kol elecha yaaseru, ve'ata noten lahem et ochlam ve'ito.
Poteach et yadecha, umaspia lechol chai ratzon.
Zadik Adonai beho derahav, ve'hasid bechol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol korav, lechol asher yikra'uhu ve'emet.
Tehillah Adonai yedaber fihi, ve'varich kol besar, shim kadoshu leolam va'ed.
Va'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah.
Please turn to page 224 for the Hatzik Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'almad divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bahagala, ubizman karib, v'immeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'alam ulal me'almaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei dekucha brichu, leila min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushpechata, v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'himmeru, amen.
We turn to page 226 and rise for the Amidah. Adonai sefatatita ufi yagid tehilatecha, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Velohei Avotenu Ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rahel Elohei Leah.
האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל.
We remain standing for the Kiddusha on page 232.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור.
Dor vador, le dor vador, le dor vador, nagid god leha. Le dor vador, le dor vador, le dor vador, nagid god leha.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips.
Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKodesh.
Please be seated.
We continue with the Kiddushat Hayom on page 234. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu ritzei vimnu hatenu. Our God and God of our ancestors, please be pleased with our rest.
קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך. קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך. סבנו בטובך, ושמחתנו בישועתך. סבנו בטובך, ושמחתנו בישועתך. יאללה לילה, יאללה לילה, יאללה קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך. קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
We continue with the Ritzei prayer on pages 236 and 237. We continue with the prayer of gratitude, Modim Anachnu La, on page 238. Modim Anachnu La, Leshata Chol Adonai Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Le'olam Va'ed. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you, for our lives are in which your hand, for our souls are in which your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all those things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all those affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ola na'el lehodot. We sing together a prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, on page 240.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amecha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amecha, Tasim Leolam. Ki Adon Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Ki Adon Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. טוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Take a few quiet moments for silent prayer, the meditations, reflections of our own hearts.
So, Joey, I cannot see you really from where I am. There you are. Thank you, Rabbi. This is a song for you, and it's all about Torah and how Torah can give your life a lot of joy over the years. And you may not quite understand in what way now, but let me tell you, the older you get, the better you will understand that. Torah is a source of joy. It's our rock. It's our people's set of instructions as to how to live life in the best possible way. So this is a song for you, all about your Torah, that you will be chanting today for the very first time. In ancient times, on Mount Sinai, on high, God gave you the Torah. On it you can rely, on God's holy lessons, a guide for all time to live by its words sublime. Torah, your shining light, guiding you through both day and night, from generation to the next generation. It's wisdom, your foundation. The Torah will show you the way. It teaches us to love our neighbors and our God above, a gift to you so rare, a treasure beyond compare, giving you a life of joy.
I invite you now to turn in the prayer book to page 246 for the Seder Kriyat Torah L'Shabbat, the service for the reading of Torah on this beautiful Shabbat afternoon. I'll also draw your attention as well to the pamphlet with Joey's picture on it. On the inside, you'll see the honors for most of the Torah service. This is the part of the service where, if your name is in here, you're going to be called up in just a few moments. And so we're going to continue with the Torah service, page 246, and I'll ask those who are designated for the first ark opening to come on up and to open the ark. And when the ark doors are open, I'll ask for everyone to please rise. As well, when I take the Torah out, I'll ask those who are designated as the Torah carriers to come over and stand right down over here at the bottom of the steps. And we're going to give you the Torah in just a few moments.
King Mitzion, Tetzei Torah. King Mitzion, Tetzei Torah. Utevar Adonai, Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Adonai iti, unrom bo shemo yachdav.
Miriam Gabriela, this is the Torah. In it is found the wisdom of our people, passed down from Moses on top of Mount Sinai throughout the ages. And today, this Torah is being passed not only symbolically, but really to you. And we study this Torah not just because of the narrative, the stories that are in it, but we study it because of the wisdom that's in it, that teaches us how to live a good life. And so now to pass this Torah down to you, I invite your grandmother, let me see here, is that right? Grandmother and uncle and your parents to pass the Torah to you on this day of your becoming a bat mitzvah.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Ledor vador nagid god lecha. Ledor vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Ledor vador, these words will praise your name.
Torah carriers, come on up over here, please.
Lecha Adonai Hagedula, Hagevula, Hatiferet, Behanetzach, Behahod. Ki chol bashamayim uvaretz, chol bashamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, ve'amid na'aseh lechol lerosh. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam, umlo. 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 Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Eivenu shalom alechem, Eivenu shalom alechem, Eivenu shalom alechem, Eivenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem, Eivenu shalom alechem, Eivenu shalom alechem, Eivenu shalom alechem, Eivenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Artza alinu, artza alinu, artza alinu, artza alinu, artza alinu, artza alinu. Nam hara אבל עוד לא קטרנו, אבל עוד לא קצרנו. ארצה עלינו, ארצה עלינו, ארצה עלינו.
Hold on a second here. Okay, you guys will talk to her right now. Please be seated, everyone. You guys are gonna talk to her. Okay.
This is our speech.
Okay, you go.
Do you have it? Aren't you guys playing too?
You're gonna go first. One of us go first. I'll sit. You stand
No,
up.
you stand there. Okay. Okay, good afternoon. It is a blessing that you have all joined us today for this celebration, this moment in my daughter's life. I'm grateful beyond words to be sharing this moment with my family, my beautiful mother who celebrated a milestone birthday yesterday. I'm not going to tell you which one. My father who brought her here, all of my sisters and my nieces. They've all flown here to recognize your accomplishment. My mother-in-law, Nancy, without whom I literally could not make it through a week and who helps me at every turn. I'm so happy to share this day with you. My beloved sister-in-law, Amanda, thankfully is not here because she has followed her doctor's advice. Please stay home, continue to rest. And for that, I'm also grateful. I want to just acknowledge my Torah carriers who just came up and walked with us. You touch my life every day, and without you, I just couldn't get by. So thank you, all three of you. There are many members of the temple. I'm not going to cry. There are many members of the temple who made this day possible. Rabbi Davis, Cantor Nicholson, Naomi and Harion, thank you for your patience and your guidance. And my friend Barb Shemansky, thank you so much for being here. I'm so pleased that you are. Several friends told me that I would feel great pride today watching my daughter lead this service. No one prepared me for what I'm feeling today. What you have accomplished, what you have become. Watching you here before this congregation, before my family, with such grace and confidence, my heart is exploding. You have honored your grandfather Paul and your Aunt Lisa. Coincidentally, your semester grades were reported today. Without embarrassing her too much, I will say I cannot believe that you have balanced your preparation for today and pulled off that report card. As we say at Passover, Dayenu. It would have been enough. If you had learned your Torah portion and not written your speech, it would have been enough. If you had written your speech but not kept up with your schoolwork, it would have been enough. If you had mastered your schoolwork but not played a sport, it would have been enough. I guess we're grateful for that broken wrist after all. You have juggled so much this year, and it was not easy, but you have shown yourself what you can accomplish when you choose to do so. You are capable of so much. So dream big, Josephine, and also heed Uncle Mark's lesson that his mother taught him. Though your dreams may be big and far away, there is good in doing the small things with excellence. Don't read my speech. I know you want to clean the oceans, all of the oceans, but it begins with one beach cleanup at a time, as you have done for years now. Josephine's Torah portion is from Leviticus, which recites the laws that have been passed down, including instructions to the priests, to keep Shabbat, and how to treat one another. For example, we are told not to plant our field all the way to the edge, but to leave some portion for the poor, to leave unplanted that which you could exploit so that it might benefit someone else. Josephine honors this law with her mitzvah project. I'm not. She partnered with the Miami Waterkeeper to help the environment. I'm not. Particularly the all-important oceans. In doing so, she will leave the land, the earth, in a condition that it may benefit another, a future generation. And we thank all of you who have donated to the Miami Waterkeeper to help her fulfill her mitzvah project. As you take this rite of passage, Josephine, I think both that it is utterly remarkable to see you becoming an adult responsible for her own deeds, and at the same time, not surprising at all. You've always set your own tempo, known your own strengths, and refuse to even consider the limitations that others might set on you, which makes parenting a challenge, but you are a force and always will be. I trust you to continue to use your strengths for good. You are your father's mini-me. You have his confidence or defiance, his courage, his optimism. Dory, thank you for sharing those qualities with our children. You set the example in our family with kindness, generosity, humility, and strength. I am grateful to you every day, and today most of all. Thank you. I love you. Please don't even cry. Okay, proud of you. Thanks.
Okay. Ryan Merrick's was supposed to be called up. We had a hiccup in the program. You were supposed to be there with Steve Zach, and I wanted to take a second to acknowledge you and our family bond. We grew up in the crib together. Josephine, around 140 years ago, your great-great-grandfather settled in Key West, Florida. They had fled the pogroms that had then been taking place in what today is Ukraine. Your grandfather, my papa, was born above their family store on Duval Street in Key West. The family moved to Miami in 1926, and when he was a boy and a teenager, right here on Miami Beach, my papa read signs in hotels that warned, "No Jews or dogs." When my Nana, my mama's mother, was looking for a home in the 1950s, she could not move into Bay Point because the neighborhood you live in today did not permit Jews to live there. We could trace this bigotry and anti-Semitism back thousands of years. You hear the Passover story every year. What is old is new, and vice versa. So how is it that your people, our people, have survived and thrived in the face of all these assaults? When your grandfather was fighting the Nazis in the 1940s, they murdered 6 million Jews, and he was lucky to make it out after he was shot down and was a prisoner of war. Think about that. This is well more than twice as many people who live in Miami-Dade County. Imagine this county, down to the Keys and up to Broward, emptied of life and culture. In fact, 30 of the 50 states have fewer people in their state than the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust. So how? It is because of what you have done here today. Tradition is the heartwood of Judaism, but it is much broader than the common understanding of the word. It is a tradition of learning, respect, joy, love of others above yourself, questioning and debate, a bond forged in love of life and common terror. These things make a Jew. They shaped how you were raised by Mama and me, and whether you want or not, this common experience passed down over 100 generations forms how you will perceive and interact with the world. These generations, your ancestors, surround you. They are here now, and if you don't see them, it's because you don't know where to look. They are in my overprotective nature. You won't like them all, but they're there. The library that surrounds you at home, your mother's profession, her intellect, her cooking. When you are knocked down and we tell you to get back up and get in there in the lacrosse game. When you paint and I tell you to do it with Nana, to learn something from her. When you speak to your Uncle Benson and Aunt Amanda, and in his precise, meticulous hands that allow him to preserve and save lives. It's in your Aunt Connor and her organization and generosity and Martin and Paul. Mom and I are so proud of the young lady you have become and are so excited to watch you continue to grow. You have our admiration and the support of all the people here today, and thank you all for coming. And the millions more who came before you. Go in the world, Josephine, and make the world better for having you in it. We know you will.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Beautiful, thank you. In a few moments, Miriam Gabriela will lead us in the Torah reading and will teach us about the lessons she's learned from this section of the Torah. The portion is focused on many things, but in part, it's focused on the notion that keeping track of time and keeping track of the seasons is important. A few days ago, one of the regulars, who I often see in the gym where I live, came in with his brand new Apple Watch. He was so excited. He was ready to track his steps, his pulse, his calories burned, and he stood next to me. I was on the elliptical, and he stood on that treadmill for 45 minutes. He was desperately trying to get his watch, his phone, and his iPad to sync together. Not successfully. He jumped off the treadmill, which had never moved, looked at me and said, "What a great workout." I said to him, "Looks like you barely even broke a sweat." He responded, "These devices are just like my life, out of sync." Isn't that how we all feel sometimes? A little bit out of sync? The sages tell us that while there are many ways to count time, the two mentioned in this week's portion point to important aspects of time, and they help us to keep in sync. Keeping track of Shabbat is a reminder that our lives are greatly affected by what we do with our time. It is personal and relational. And keeping track of the holidays is a reminder that our world is also greatly affected by what we do with our time, how we observe, how we celebrate, how we organize, how we keep track of the changing seasons and of that which is important to making our world better. I pray that this beautiful moment of Miriam Gabriela's becoming a bat mitzvah and our Shabbat together will help us all to resync our lives with the highest and holiest aspirations. It's now my pleasure to call up Miriam Gabriela to call up her aliyot and to read from the Torah on this day of her becoming a bat mitzvah.
Ya'amdu ha'olim la'aliyah harishona. For the first honor, I would like to call up my aunt, Corey Singer, and my cousins, Wendy Fisher, Barbara Himmel, and Sarah Singer to the Torah, and my uncle, Louis Benson Lewis, and Amanda Lewis, not here, but very much here in spirit.
And if you reach underneath your chair, you'll find in the book rack the Chumash, which has the Torah readings in it, and this Torah reading is found on page 819, chapter 21, verse 1. That's page 819.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay. Before you start, make sure. This one. Yeah, is that the right one?
Yes.
Okay, and it goes up to here. Okay.
Do you want me to start?
Amen. Vayomer Adonai El Moshe Emor El HaKohanim Bnei Aharon Ve'amarta Alehem Lenefesh Lo Yitama Ba'al Be'amav Ki im Lishero Hakarov Elav Le'imo Ul Aviv Velivno Ulvito ul achiv, vela ahoto havetula hakerova elav asher lo hayita leish la yitama.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'haye olam nata betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
The second aliyah is found on the same page, beginning with verse 4. That's page 819.
Ya'amdu ha'olim la'aliyah hashniya Avi Yitzchak Moshe ben Paretz Avraham Nifshaham Shana. For the second honor, I would like to call up my parents, Lauren and Dory Lewis, and my brother, Charles, to the Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu michol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayomer. Amen. Lo yitama ba'al be'amav lehecholo. Yikrehu korha berosham le'ofat zekanam lo yitam yigalenu ve'lig Saraham lo yisretu saratet.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
For the last aliyah, which is called the maftir, this additional reading, which is specifically for the person who is going to read from Haftarah, which is Miriam Gabriella. And this is actually the moment with this blessing that she officially becomes a bat mitzvah. And it's our tradition to read from the Sephardic Torah in the Ark so that everyone can see that she's reading from the Torah. And so when the Ark doors are opened up and we stand in front of the Torah, I'll ask you to please rise for this blessing and reading of the Torah.
I can hold it. I got it.
This reading is found on page 830, chapter 24, beginning with verse 21.
Here, on this one, yes, because it's just so hard to deal with. Okay, now wait a minute. Here we go. I'm going to call you first, so face me. Okay. תעמוד הבחורה בת המצווה ועלייה התורה, מרים גבריאלה, בת יצחק משה, חזקי, חזקי.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamavara.
Baruch Adonai Hamivarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu V'harbanu mikol ha'alim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Umake behema yishalemena, umake adam yumat, mishpat echad yiyeh lahem, kager ka'ezra yiyeh, ki ani Adonai Elohehem, vadaber Moshe el bnei Yisrael, vayotzimu et hamekalel, el mihutz lamachaneh, Vayirgemu oto aben uvnei Yisrael asu ka'asher ziva Adonai et Moshe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet b'chayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. You got it.
Oh, that's my notes here. Right here. The Haftarah for Shabbat and more can be found on page 846. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar bin vi'im tovim v'ratzah v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe abdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'Nbi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek. V'hakohanim halim b'nei Zadok, asher shameru et mishmeret mikdashid bid'ot b'nei Yisrael me'alai, hema yikrehu elai leshareteni lefanaduhu lefanai lekrivli hey levadam neum Adonai Elohim. Our Haftarah continues towards the end at verse 31. Kol nevela utrefa min haof umin havehema lo yokrelu hakohanim. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zor kol haolamim zadik behol hadorot ha'el hane'ema ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem sekol devarav emet vatzedek. For the Torah, for the privilege of worship, and for the prophets, and this Shabbat that you, Adonai our God, have given us for holiness and rest, for honor and glory, we thank and bless you. May your name be blessed for every living being. Blessed are you, Adonai, for the Sabbath and its holiness. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
I got it. No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, this is the most stressful part. Yes, I will. Shabbat Shalom. In this week's parasha, Emor, God speaks to Moses about how the sons of Aaron, priests of Israel, should behave. As representatives of God, they have a moral obligation towards the people. For example, they are not allowed to take God's name in vain, approach a dead person, or trim their beards. When reading my portion, I was struck by the fact that instead of speaking to the priest directly, God opts for Moses to be the messenger. This notion of Moses as messenger stood out to me. Why didn't God speak to Aaron's sons directly? Why pick someone as an intermediary? Is God modeling a positive form of leadership in this narrative? To answer some of the questions, I looked back to the Torah. At this point in our story, the Israelites have just gone from slaves to a free, independent society. This time was critical in creating Jewish morals and how these values would be delivered, and by whom. Moses was chosen by God to deliver this message. Why? Well, Moses had led the slaves out of Egypt and convinced the Pharaoh to let them free. He had been a spokesperson for God this whole time. What really made him a good leader was his ability to listen, give more than he took, and to recognize his mistakes. As Rabbi Matthew Berkovitz teaches, to be a true leader, you must put others' needs before yourself. He states, true leadership is multivalent, requiring attention to one's internal life and external actions. These lessons are especially true for those of us in public positions of leadership. One must be consistently mindful, introspective, and self-critical. Only through placing a lens to oneself and being conscious of one's own flaws can one avoid the pitiful trial of pridefulness and the awareness that one's instinctive allies might also deserve critique. These traits, explained by Rabbi Berkovitz, are those that God expected the leaders of the Jewish people to have and to follow. These values are reflected in Moses. The question remains, why didn't God deliver the message of the Israelites oneself? I think that God choosing a messenger for the people, God meant to unite the community. If God had just delivered the messages to people oneself, the people might have felt disempowered. By having a member of their community step up and take on responsibility of their well-being, it united the people, giving them a mentor and setting a moral code. As Rabbi Avital Horstein explains, placing responsibility on the people in their entirety turns the holy space into a more mutual and joint entity, and also helps to shape the human relationship between those working in the Mishkan, the Kohanim, and the people in a more mutual way. God let the people know when to celebrate, when to atone, and what good a priest should be. In so doing, God taught leaders to think of others before themselves and to sacrifice properly. What I learned from this parasha is in God asking a representative of the growing group of people to deliver a message of rules, holidays, and punishments. God helped the Israelites find a sense of community and togetherness. Today, living in a fractured society, we can learn from this ancient example. God modeling a positive leadership. Our world is devised of billions of people of different backgrounds, and we need to unite more than ever to find a better world. But how do we find this unity? In finding common ground with each other, the Israelites were not a uniform people. They had many differences from one another, yet Moses listened to them and cared for them. He also helped them find togetherness in their rituals and their laws. By helping the Israelites find common ground, Moses bound the people into one community with rules, celebrations, and limitations, but also a sense of attachment. If we can emulate Moses, trying to better listen to one another, find empathy for each other's challenges, and grapple with our differing views, then we can learn to live more harmoniously. This world is the only one we have, and I hope we can find it in ourselves to live in peace. Okay, I would like to thank a few people before I end. My parents, Lord and Zori, have been there for me, pushing me to get this done since I have started. They have helped me plan and study Hebrew even when I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and put up with me even when I changed my mind the 4th or 5th time that week. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you to my little brother Charles. Even though sometimes you annoy me so much, I would not trade you for the world. I love spending time with you, and I will cherish those memories forever. I'd like to thank Rabbi Davis, who helped me understand the true meaning of becoming a bat mitzvah, Rabbi Simachor for helping me have a deeper knowledge of Memor and helping me write my speech even when it made 0 sense. I'd like to thank Cantor Nicholson for teaching me how to chant the Hebrew and her undying patience throughout our time together, my supporting family for always being there for me, my Uncle Benson and Aunt Amanda. Even though you couldn't be here in person, I know you're watching from Zoom. Love y'all. Thank you to my amazing school and camp friends, and Sophia, moi. Because of you, I've had the best year of my life, and you've always been there for me. I wish I could explain why half of our text messages are covered in Duolingo stickers or why we talk about chairs so much, but if I tried to explain what every inside joke we've had, I'd be here for the next 3.5 hours. And thank you to everyone who came here that didn't know me that well before, but took time out of their Saturday to be here for me on one of the most important days of my life. Shabbat Shalom.
Yes. Right here. Just come stand right here. Okay. Miriam, Gabriella, Josephine, Joey, we're all so proud of you. I'm not going to let you look. We're all so proud of you. I know your parents are proud of you, your family, your friends, but most importantly, you should be proud of yourself. That's one of the differences between being a child and being an adult. When we're kids, we work for our parents' approval and the adults' approval. But when you become an adult, you just work for your own approval, living your own life. As we talked, you do not have a bat mitzvah. You become a bat mitzvah, which is our tradition's way of saying and recognizing that you're in the process of becoming responsible for your own life. Josephine, you are clearly doing that. You are bright, articulate, compassionate, and you have a great sense of humor. You already understand something that most people in our world don't yet get, that you are a citizen of the world, and that means you have a responsibility to the world. But what you get is that you have a hand in transforming the world. You're concerned about the impact of climate change, you see the divisions between people, and you know that hunger and food insecurity are real-life problems that exist now. And when I asked you what you might do about these issues, you wisely and humbly said, I want to make an impact. I just don't know how to do that. And then you paused and said, yet. You don't know how to do that yet. Miriam, Gabriella, you are on your way. You're going to figure it out, and you are going to make an impact in this world. You have that zest for life, and you have the brain, and you have the stick-to-itiveness. You don't play lacrosse unless you're ready to enter into engagement with difficult stuff. And changing our world requires that kind of engagement. Having aspirations to make the world better is wonderful, but knowing your role and figuring that out and then living that role is what really counts. That is exactly why you don't have a bat mitzvah, that you become a bat mitzvah. You will always be engaged in this important act of tikkun olam, of healing and transforming our world, and tikkun nefesh, healing and transforming yourself to become the best person you can be. You give me and everyone here great hope for the future. You really do. Mazel tov to your parents, to your family, to your friends, and especially to you. You are a bat mitzvah. And so now it's my pleasure on behalf of the congregation and the Jewish people to give this blessing to you. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always lift you up, and may you be filled with the blessing of shalom, the blessing of peace and of wholeness. And together we say, Amen. Okay, so now, are you passing the candy out? Go to it as fast as you possibly can. He's going to pass some candy out, and in a moment we're going to gently, kindly shower Miriam Gabriela with sweetness. We're going to be wrapping the Torah back up, and as we do so, we're going to be praying Eitz Chaim. It's found back in the prayer book on page 256. And then after we get all that candy passed out, I'm going to tell you one or two more things.
Eitz Chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomecheha mehushai. Eitz Chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomecheha mehushai.
So in a moment, we're going to be gently tossing the candy. Unfortunately, because of OSHA regulations,
Gently, please.
I have to tell you that you have to stay in your seat when you throw it. And once the candy hits the ground, you can't pick it up and throw it again. Nobody gets hurt, right? And after all the candy's on the ground, anyone below the age of 13, either chronologically or that's how you feel sometimes, come on up. Clean the bima, get the candy off of here. And so before we do this, you get to call up 3 shomrim, shomrot, two,
Okay.
whatever you call up, to guard you, to protect you.
Of course, my little ratty Charles. Come on. Allegra Orlovsky.
Okay, so you guys are
Wait, do I
gonna
need 3 or 2?
come on back here. You're going to go back here. You guys are going to stand in front. You're going to protect her. Oh, God bless us all. Mazel tov.
Siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, ye'elanu. Siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, ye'elanu. Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael.
Now I'd like to invite up those who are designated to open the ark for the second time. That's Jessica, Sandy, and Kelly, to please, your aunts, to please come on up, open the ark doors. I'll ask everyone to turn to page 282 in the prayer book, and please rise as the ark doors are opened for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We'll take a few moments now to remember all those who came before us, those who may have died in years past at this season, and those who may have died in recent days. We remember the more than 6 million Jews that were murdered in the Shoah and the Holocaust. Remember all those who died in the struggle to reestablish the modern state of Israel, have died since that time, making sure that our homeland exists for us, for Jews everywhere. Remember those who perished in the name of liberty, freedom, and righteousness, and all the innocent victims of hatred, ignorance, terrorism, disease, violence, and natural disasters. On this Shabbat as well, we remember Paul Adolph Lewis, Lisa Stein, Gertrude Lepoff, Josephine Johannek, Nita Marks, Lois Stein, Charles Stein, Berta Claire Lee, Edna Luck, Elaine Gannon, Barbara Fisher, and Leonard Fisher. And if you're remembering someone, you're in a period of mourning, you're saying Kaddish, you have a yortzeit, I'll ask you please to mention those names out loud. Thank you. Thank you. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of all the righteous in our lives be a blessing as we recite together words of Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman karib v'yimru, amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei kudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all who mourn, comfort all who are bereaved, and send healing to all who are saddened, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. Now I'd like to invite up a member of our board, a longtime member of our congregation, Dennis Russ, to make a few presentations to Joey. Stand right here. Dennis, you can stand right over here.
Rabbi and Cantor, thank you so much for this beautiful Shabbat service. Rabbi, my Torah teacher, Cantor, my fellow student and teacher. I want to thank you, particularly Cantor Adele, for all the work that you do with our families and with our students growing up and coming into Bar Mitzvah. And thank you so much on behalf of the congregation. Of course, you had particularly substantial help and wonderful help from Josephine and from this beautiful family. Josephine, take a look around this room. Take a moment to look around this room. This room is filled with people who love and adore you, and they are here with you on a very momentous occasion. This is a occasion that you will remember probably for the rest of your life. It is a special occasion to your family, to your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncle, cousins, and to your family's friends and to your friends who are here with you today. It is also a special occasion to our congregation. I speak for you on behalf of the trustees of Temple Beth Shalom, because your bar mitzvah today, your bat mitzvah today, is a special moment for our congregation, for the South Florida Jewish community, and for the people of Israel. We are an ancient and holy people, thousands of years old, and we have been able to survive, sustain, and become vital because of the commitment of young men and young women coming with their families to bat mitzvah, to bar mitzvah, and undertaking to make commitment to follow our traditions and to follow our faith. And because you have done that here today, it becomes special, not only to you and to your family, but it's special to our community. It's special to the people of Israel. Mazel tov. So I am here to present you with gifts on behalf of our congregation. This Kiddush cup is to signify Shabbat, that you should remember it and keep it holy. This symbolic Torah is to remind you of the mitzvah of lifelong learning. And this certificate is in recognition of the many days of study, your hard work, and your words here today, that you are and have become bat mitzvah. So now it is your turn. It is the turn of your generation, your classmates, your friends. And we wish you mazel tov and good wishes and prayers and blessings. God bless you, Josephine. God bless you and keep you. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Dennis. But wait, there's more. You can go, Dennis, but there's more for... In addition, we have a couple of certificates for you. We hope that you will join your confirmation class after 10th grade to go to Israel. And this is a certificate for a trip to the National Federation of Temple Youth. That's a big certificate right there. As well, should you decide to attend the Alexander Muss High School in Israel during that summer, another certificate that will help you with that. Through the anonymous generosity of one of our members who has purchased an Israeli bond for every single one of our B'nai Mitzvah during this year, It's a beautiful gift. It's an investment in the land of Israel when you're going to get information in the mail about this bond that's been purchased for you. When the bond comes full, when it's time to redeem it, you can get the money or you can reinvest in the land of Israel, and we'll hope you'll choose one of those two things. So there's that certificate. In addition, a tree has been planted in the land of Israel by the clergy and the staff, and we're going to get you the right one with the right name on it. This doesn't have the right name on it, but you're going to get Micah Ressler.
It's an honor. I love her. She's my babe.
You got a tree also, don't worry. So we're about to conclude. We're going to conclude our service with Havdalah. I'm going to ask the immediate family to come on up here around the Havdalah. I'm going to ask all of us to rise, and you're welcome to come forward and gather around as we do the blessings for Havdalah.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri agafe, borei peri agafe. Lai lai la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim ya la 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 ya la 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 ya 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 la 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei haish borei meorei haish ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
And now we sing Shavua Tov, wishing each other a good week, a week of peace.
Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase.
Shavua Tov, everyone. Mazel tov.